So here we are on site live. Well, it's a live recording, put it that way. And actually, the video I was going to show you with us showing some examples of cowboy builders is one that we filmed Christmas time. So I thought I'd give you just a little bit of an update as to what you're about to see. So yeah, what are cowboy builders? Well, for me, the take is basically this, okay? We can all be competent in what we do, okay? So, and if we're competent, we can very often do various tasks to a very good or even high standard. For me, a cowboy builder is a builder who sort of claims that he's a builder, knows what the regulations are, claims that he's very skillful, but then when he actually goes on site or carries out those works, he either intentionally or through ignorance maybe will try to cut corners. His workmanship might be very poor, and he might be just trying to take the client for a ride. Okay, he might be charging her too much money. As I say, his workmanship might be shoddy. Now, in the video you're about to see, Lynsey and I, we actually came across a builder who we'd use for the first time, if you like. He seemed pretty good, seemed to know his stuff. But when I went to inspect an RSJ beam that he'd put in, straight away I could see that the beam was very old. And I mean old now, well over 30 years. And I suppose you get that experience from, years of experience type of thing. So I knew that straight away. I could see by the size of it, it wasn't even large enough for its purpose. But I also noticed the way it was installed was diabolical. And to me, a builder who does or carries out that type of workmanship and uses materials that are not fit for purpose, in my eyes, is a cowboy builder. Anyway, have a look at this video and you'll see what I mean. So it was taken at Christmas time, so excuse the pantomime theme, but I'll see you in a bit.
Hello!
Hi guys!
Hey!
It's Christmas!
Snow is falling all around me. You're not joining in? No. Voice of an angel, apparently. Right, so today we're going to give you some of our tidy tips. And today's tip is RSJs.
Funny word, RSJ.
Yeah. So when you're knocking two rooms into one, you need a structural support. So we have this, which was done by a builder who is now no longer our builder, because when we walked in we realised it's too small and it doesn't comply to building regs. Had they appointed a building inspector? No. So there's quite a few issues there, so fire away.
Yeah, so as you can see, they put this railway track, I call it, up. It's quite small, it's only about 5 inches in depth. They didn't even take the ceiling down. You can see they've actually put the RSJ up without taking all of the ceiling down, which is shocking, absolutely shocking. So the size of that, from experience, I know is too small. The size it should be is this one here, look. Can you see the difference? Massive, massive difference.
But we do think this one is a little bit too big, but this is what the inspector wanted, so this is what the inspector got, but it's not normally far off that size, is it?
No, they do tend to, some engineers do an overkill, which is fine. But yeah, it's slightly overkill, I know that, but it's going to be more than suitable. The rest of the house will fall down before this does anyway. But also, if you show you over here, look, with my little, what do they call it, a tutor when he's got a stick? What do they call this?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know. So this is my blackboard stick. So what they've done is they put this lintel in here, okay? Now that lintel is supposed to be resting on this blockwork, but it's not, there's a gap. There's about an inch gap there, which is absolutely shocking. So they haven't even installed that properly. And then this blockwork that is supporting that, they built on top of a slab that they should have taken out. And then they should have put a concrete base in there. So they cut corners right, left and centre, hoping that we wouldn't know what we're doing or, even maybe see it. Unfortunately, fortunately, we're experienced enough to know these things, but for The average person you may not know, which is why it's just so important that you appoint a building inspector to come and inspect this type of work. If you're going to rely on your builder to inspect, to appoint an inspector, make sure that they do, okay?
Get the contact, and maybe you contact them, because I understand not everybody has this experience. A lot of people do go on the word of the builder, and if that was the case, we would have come in massive trouble, because one, there was no inspector involved when there should be, and two, if we didn't know that and the work had been carried out and then they want to see proof, they can make you undo that work so they can see. If they uncover anything, then you'll have to put it right. So you've got to undo everything, and it would cost you thousands and thousands. So it's just not worth the risk. So if you know that you're doing stuff that is like this, contact the building inspector yourself. Make sure they've seen it and make sure they are happy. Then you know then the builder's done a good job.
And it is very important that throughout the process from start to finish, you take lots of photos as well as evidence, because if anything does go wrong with your builder, you've got the evidence of what they've done or haven't done properly. Very, very important. Or video. Video is even better if you want, you know, because you can always take screenshots off the video. But the other thing, on the other side of the joist that they haven't done, again, which maybe you wouldn't know about, is that when you put an RSJ in, you should have a reinforced concrete pad stone below it, not a breeze block or not a piece of stone. A pad stone is reinforced, high dense concrete with metal bars inside. Well, some haven't got metal bars. And what that means is that when the RSJ is on it and the weight of the upstairs, it doesn't compress or it doesn't get squashed, so it doesn't drop. They haven't done that. In one place on this property, they haven't put even any sort of concrete underneath. They just used brickwork and black mortar. So again, you know, real cowboy job. Thankfully, we know what we're doing. We saw it, and yeah, the builders are no more. So.
Yeah, so the joys, but yeah, a lot of builders are having problems at the minute and it's having a knock-on effect, so just be extra vigilant, keep an extra eye on them and make sure they've got the right people involved as well to oversee major stuff so that you are safeguarded too.
Yeah, the big tip is maybe to appoint the building inspector yourself and maybe arrange the inspections with the building inspector yourself, and also for maybe you to be there when the building inspector inspects the work, so that if he does pick anything up, he'll tell you when you're there in front of your builders, rather than maybe your builder's not telling you the truth.
Yeah, definitely.
So there you have it, a cowboy builder and the two Christmas elves showing you exactly what's what. Now, moving on from that a little bit, and just to give you a bit more insight as to why I think this guy's a cowboy builder, which hopefully is obvious from that video, is, as you can see in this particular image that I'm just about to share with you, the state he left the property in was diabolical. You know, I just had a feeling he wasn't going to be really up to our standards and so on. But in addition to that, when he did the block work that the pillars resting on, that workmanship was shoddy. Now, I say that because you may not be able to see it, but for example, that block work was built on a very small, thin slab. In other words, he hadn't even taken the slab up on the floor and put a concrete base in. He just had put a bit of cement down and blocked, you know, the block work up. What I also know is the blockwork wasn't tied into the existing house wall. So again, that was shoddy, bad workmanship, cowboy builder. And then if you zoom in, look on this image, you can actually see that the lintel wasn't actually cemented in place and onto the blockwork. So again, you know, really shoddy workmanship. Now then, when we zoom in just above the RSJ itself, he hadn't even taken the existing old ceiling down. What he had done, he'd put the RSJ up against the old mortar and thought that was fine. I mean, you should always take the ceiling down, you know, and then the RSJ should be resting underneath the first floor joists. He didn't even take the ceiling down. And not only that, where he actually put the RSJ into the wall, you're supposed to have a pad stone, which you may have seen on some of the course training that I've done. He hadn't even put a pad stone in. What made it worse was when I asked him if he had, he said yes. But when I actually took the cement away from the wall, as you can see in this image, right, there was no pad stone there. So he lied. So he intentionally was trying to rip us off, a cowboy builder. And that to me is the difference between a cowboy builder and a good builder. Now, don't get me wrong, we all make mistakes. And even in that video, you got the two little elves, you know, claiming to be experts. But yeah. We just have a bit of fun in the videos that we do. But I hope that the point I'm getting across is you have to be on top of things, but don't expect to know everything, okay? And this is what this course is here to do, to help you, obviously. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that little video, Christmas, cowboy builders and all, and I'll see you back in the studio. See you later.